to Beat, the podcast by members of the community for members of the community, where we talk about games and how long to beat them. My name is Matt, and I'm with my co-hosts Leah
Hello.
and Roy.
He who has not completed any games, Frozen Roy.
Shameful, shameful. Diallo, unfortunately, still missing in action for now. The great return will come, and we will await it. Today, after we did the usual dance of talking about the games we've been playing recently, we will be having a little discussion about a sort of seasonal gaming, if and when we do video game choices according to whatever time of the year it is. Some of us do it, some of us don't. Why do we do it? Are we strange for doing it, or is it just a fun thing? We will be discussing all of that. And of course, to top it all off at the end, we will play another round of Guess the Game, where the aim of the game is to guess the game according to user-submitted completion notes in our community. I guess there's not too much on the agenda, so Leah's gonna take a lot of the spotlight this episode, and maybe you should start as well.
Oh boy. Okay.
Leave the least for last.
Finally, Plague Tale Requiem is off of my backlog and in the gutter where it should be. No.
Oh my god. Like the rats.
Yeah, with the rats. I finally beat it. It was exhausting and annoying to beat. I didn't really care about the storyline. Again, like the first game was more just like a bunch of kids trying to get through this plague together, and it was kind of a little bit more like Lost Boys and Peter Pan aspect to it, where the second one there's a lot more adults that are helping them out, so it was kind of more just like this kid with its guardian, you know, whatever, his legal guardians just running around or whatever. It kind of felt like if it wasn't as dire a situation, because there was always an adult nearby that was going to help you, like they were stronger than, you know, this teenager and this, I don't know how old Hugo was supposed to be, like 8. So I don't know. There was a lot of cool later game stuff that I'm glad that I got through. But it's still not something that I would recommend people unless they really want like the full series of it. But there was this one really cool, like trippy scene where I just paused and I just went into photo mode and I started like scrolling around the whole area and just like looking at like all the way that the world is built, and I realized that like when you're in photo mode, like there's certain things I just take for granted, that there was like a tree, and I just took for granted that like the tree would be hollow, just because like why would you make textures and everything for the game inside the tree or whatever? Like it's just gonna be like the outside of the tree is all you see, the end. But like in photo mode, I was like, I want to see what's inside this tree. So I like zoomed in through the photo mode, and they were like more the tree is like covered in vines and everything. And they like literally went and made every single vine, even the ones that you can't see from outside. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, did they know that people were going to be doing this with like photo mode? Like, I wish that I had done this earlier to see like what other things were inside other objects in the game. Every single game that I played since, I've been like, wait, stop here. I want to zoom in photo mode, and I need to like see what, you know, so much detail to that tree. And that was a beautiful section of the game, even though it was supposed to be like a trippy moment anyway. So it wasn't supposed to be like, you know, wow, look at this amazing set design or whatever. But
I wonder, now that you mention it, since photo modes are becoming more and more popular in games these days, I guess there is a natural drive for the developers to put more effort into designs that would usually not be seen. That's actually an interesting, you know, point that I didn't even think about before.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that took me a while. I did the same thing when I was playing like Spider-Man and Alan Wake, just being like, what's in here? What's in here? I need to start poking through everything and see, like, you know, I was like, how detailed is this actually made out to be, you know? So that was kind of cool. Then I went back and I realized I had never actually tagged Plague Tale Innocence properly, because I had retired it because I got stuck in one part. And so I just went back and was like, oh yeah, I never actually logged that as like completed. So I went back, did the credits again from where you saved in like the last battle, and, you know, finally logged that as completed. So yeah, so those are gone. I'm not gonna bother with the next one. They were fun to do. I'm glad that I got through them because like there was a few games that I bought around that time that I just kind of just retired immediately. So I was like, okay, at least one thing I bought that day has been completed. So
That's good.
Hell yeah.
Infinity Nikki, which technically is still ongoing. Like the day after I decided I was complete with this game, they added a new update. So there's more to do now. Technically, I just wanted to do like the main storyline. Like there's little like world quests to do and stuff like that, and like little random quests. You know, you meet somebody and they're like, "Hey, can you help me with this?" And I'm like, "No," and then I just leave. But so there's like other stuff to do, and of course there's like the whole fashion section of it where you can like do all the outfits and everything. But I was like, I really just want the storyline. That's all I really care about. So I did that. I'm done. But the thing is that there's so much tension happening between the
Oh,
players and the company right now that I'm like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't, even if I do go back to this game, I really don't want to talk about it. Like, it's not a game that I want to like promote to anybody because it's just like nobody seems to be having fun with this game. So like other than, you know, the company getting money, I guess. People are still playing it, so it still exists, you know. The update does look fun though cuz now they're adding like it's supposed to be like some Stardew crossover or whatever, but like
Yeah, yeah.
now you can like have a
oh,
garden, you can have a house, and I'm like I know that furnishing the house is going to be things that you have to pull for, and like that's going to be like all the like microtransaction stuff. So I'm like, I'm
yeah.
sure it's not going to be that exciting, but I was like, it'd be nice to see like, you know, if I can make like a decent looking shed or something. So I'll probably get back to it at some point. But
A decent looking shed.
yeah, a shed. That's because that's like, I know that like stairs are going to be like, you know, pull 50 times to get like the stairs and to get like a
Oh, okay,
stove or what.
yeah,
And I'm just like,
gotcha. Yeah.
listen, give me 4 walls and a chair and we're good. Like,
A nice little closet.
yeah, that's all she needs. Her and her clothes. That's it.
Imagine in
So
real life if you had to rule for stairs in your house.
yeah, well.
Oh my god.
I'll see how that goes, but like considering every time I open this game, it's like PlayStation like notorious for like having updates all the time for like security and system updates. Where it
Mm.
felt like that. I would turn on my PlayStation and it was fine. Then I would go to play Infinity Nikki and it would be like, oh, by the way, there's an update. And I'm like, oh my God, I just want to play the game. I only have 15 minutes. I don't want to spend it downloading this update. I guess I will, you know, go back to it eventually. But like, other than that, the next on my list is Alan Wake 2, which has now taken over my life because I mean, I've been a
I
huge
noticed.
Remedy fan for a while. Like Alan Wake 1 was the only one from the PS3 era that I never got to play when it happened because it was an Xbox. So when they finally remastered it, they were able to put it on PlayStation. So I bought that shit immediately. And I didn't really care for the story, but it was a fun game to play where like the mechanics were interesting because he's basically like Stephen King. He's a horror writer and like his story is coming to
Mm.
life. So like all the baddies are they're like shadow creatures, and you have to use a flashlight to burn away the shadow before you can shoot them. So that was interesting because not only do you have to have ammo to shoot them, but you also have batteries for your flashlight you have to go around looking for. So that was the first game. That one was great. And then they kind of left it for a while. They came back with Control, which is about a different organization that takes care of like events, sort of like Alan Wake, which Alan Wake 2 kind of brings it back together where like they kind of connect now. And now they're starting to make it like a whole different verse for like all their other games. People are like characters are coming back in. The DLC for this was also very like meta and like deadpan humor, which all the games pretty much have that sort of like deadpan humor that the first one did. What I miss from the first game in Alan Wake 2 is that when they would come at you, none of the villains called you the right name. So like they would always be like they would just call him different writers. So they like somebody would be like, I hate you, Ernest Hemingway. And then the next guy is like, I hate you, like Stephen King,
That's
Daniel Steele. And it was
interesting.
just like I was like, that's hilarious. I was like, they don't even know his actual name. Like he's that bad of a writer that it's just like, we don't know, you're just a writer. So that was funny. But then in this one, they kind of got rid of that. But this one's a lot scarier than the first one was, I think. I played the first one. I'm a wuss anyway with horror games, and I tend to play them in the daytime. But this one actually was like freaking me out because there's a lot of like jump scares and like a lot of little things that like flash on the screen. And I was like, I can't handle this playing this for multiple hours a day, so I had to do it very slowly. But yeah, so that really got me back into it, and I had just finished playing it and the DLCs when they announced like their 30th anniversary. So all their games went on sale. So I was like, okay, I've already played Quantum Break, which is also slightly connected. I played Control. I had the Alan Wake remaster, but the Alan Wake 1 unremastered was on sale and it came with bonus stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna buy that also. So I have that. I have Max Payne, which is also tangentially related to this too, which I never got to play back in the day. So I own it for PS2. I just never got around to it. So now I have those, so I'm gonna play those. I'm very excited to be back in the Remedy-verse now, to just see all the storylines that could possibly come back in future games, since now they're really, really starting to focus on roping them all together.
Yeah, you mentioned the sale. I was looking at the Steam page as you were talking about the game. Yeah, it's currently in my region sold for 79 cents, Alan Wake 1.
Yeah.
That is I'm actually
Yeah.
thinking about getting this as well.
I would just get that because, like,
yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like for that cost, even if you end up not playing it, like, what'd you
Yeah.
waste? 79 cents?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you.
I mean,
Oh, wow.
honestly, for 99 cents, maybe I'll even take a look. That's cheap as
Yeah.
hell.
So after that, I was like on a high of like beating all these games. So I went back and I finished We Should Talk, which I've mentioned before. I don't know if it was this last episode or the episode before, but I 100%ed it. I got all the achievements now. I've seen every single ending, and there is an answer to what gender your player character is, because some of the endings kind of just say what happened, but they don't really see your person. So there is a definitive answer to that. And there's also some endings that I'm just kind of like, this doesn't satisfy me as an ending. Like I did what I needed to do to get this ending, but this isn't really. But there's like one or two that I would say that I was like, okay, I think this is the real ending that they should have had as characters. And other ones is just like, there was one where you really have to be like super mean to them. And it's like, why are you even with this person if you're gonna be this caustically mean to them? Like every single time she's like, oh, like, I have your dinner waiting, and you're like, great, cool, I'm not there. And it's like, okay, well, are you gonna be here? Well, I'm drinking. And it's like, okay, well, why are you so angry at this person you're with? Like, I was like, clearly the way it is in the game is like you've been dating for a while and it's like just about to get serious. So it's like decide whether you're gonna be super serious or if you're just gonna like end it there. But I was like, that's not the time to suddenly just snap at this person and be so mean. So I was like, this is clearly just like an ending they came up with, but not really what should be
Right.
happening.
That makes sense.
Then I went back and I did GTA Vice City, finally finished that one. And I don't really know why people like this game. Like, I played it, I love Grand Theft Auto, I love Rockstar games, but for some reason, this one just didn't cling to me the way it's clung to other people. People are like, oh, Vice City's the best one, it's so great. And I'm like, the only thing this has going for it is the defining characteristic like that Vice City had. Like, each of the GTAs have something that they did special. Like GTA 3 was like the first 3D one. This was the first one that had like voiced character. The San Andreas was the one that had like the first open world thing where like you could go anywhere you wanted. Then they didn't really have like loading screens or whatever. Like they still try to like corner you off into a center of the map, but San Andreas didn't. And that one, then like 4 became really sad, and then 5 was kind of, oh, there's different protagonists and stuff like that. So like the only thing that this has going for it is that this time you're not playing the silent character. He has a voice to him. It's not you as the character, it's you helping this character on his mission. But the story is just Scarface. Like, just go watch Scarface. There's nothing to this that makes it any deeper or anything like more satirical. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize that some of the GTAs can be satirical and like they have more to say, I think, about America than like people tend to realize. Like, they think it's just like, oh, gangbanging and crime and shooting hookers. And I was like, you barely need to do any of that, you know, for most of the game. So it's just like, okay, well, whatever.
Which
But
what you mean shooting hookers not an integral part of the campaign? I was led to believe it
Nah.
was.
that's like some people really they're like, oh, isn't that the shooting hookers game? And I was just like, man, like
Mhm.
that's not even like a mission, you know? That's like
Yeah.
you ran over somebody in the street by accident because, you know, the AI is idiotic and they just, you know, run in front of your car. But you can do that in Bus Simulator also. So like whatever.
I think I always felt like people were just nostalgic for the 80s neon light vibes. I feel
Probably.
like that's what
But
people love, yeah.
I think yeah. It's funny because that's how I feel about San Andreas, where like I like the
Mm,
80s, but I was still pretty much a baby at the time. So like
mhm.
I know some songs, but they don't hit me as much as playing San Andreas, where I'm just like, oh, remember this song? This was on the radio all the time. So
I suspect part of it is just like the timing too, coming right off the heels of like GTA 3, that like
Right.
PlayStation 2 era, because like
yeah,
San Andreas was like 2004, going into
yeah.
like the PS3, I think.
hmm
So it might just have
Yeah,
popularity by some inertia of being early.
yeah. So my next game is Spider-Man 2, which is the sequel to Spider-Man 1, which neither of them have to do
Right.
with the movie Spider-Man 1 and 2. But it's very confusing because like I was playing this with my boyfriend, and at one point he was like, "What's this called?" And I was like, "It's Spider-Man." And he was like, "No, what's the title?" And I was like, "Spider-Man 2." And he was like, "But what is it called?" I'm like, "It's just that." Like, but there's like
Yeah.
50 Spider-Man games, so it was like, bro, I don't know how.
Yeah.
Like, there's no
Well,
like
wait, which
subtitle.
one is it? Is it the new one?
Yes.
PS5, so yeah.
Technically, I believe it's technically called Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
That clears it up.
Yeah. Insomniac now has like a whole Marvel universe that they're building, sort of. I know that they had said they were going to do a Wolverine game, and I guess after this one is coming a Venom game, which I meant to check to see if that's still happening. I know there was like a leak that happened about it, but other than that, I don't know if we're still getting that game or not. Um, but I didn't like this one that much. Like this was supposed to be a game that was supposed to be the first game I played in this house when we moved, because I figured, oh, I'll install this. Usually when you move here in America, getting Wi-Fi installed takes like a week or 2 weeks or whatever. So I was like, oh, I'll download this, set up the PlayStation when we get there, and like power and lights go on immediately, but Wi-Fi is going to take 2 weeks. So I was like, I will have this one game to play when we have no internet or whatever. And that was not the
Right.
case. That did not happen. So yeah, we finally got through it this last week. My boyfriend was having story issues with the way that they announced some of the characters in this and like some of the story plot points. So he kind of just gave up on it halfway through, and he didn't like the way that Miles had certain missions to do. And I was like, well, Peter also has missions, but we're just playing as Miles right now. And my thing was there was a very specific outfit that I wanted to get for Miles that was the Puerto Rican flag on the outfit. And I was like, that's all I care about. However, we have to unlock that. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So I did that. And I was like, okay, mission complete. Now we can just do the main quest and be done. So we did that. But the first game had a really good story, I would say, even though we played it during COVID and it's about like a biochemical warfare where everybody has to like wear a face mask around. And I was like, this is too
Oh,
real right
awesome.
now.
Yeah.
It's just topical.
Yeah. So we were playing that during the COVID, and I was like, this is not the game I need right now. But that was a good story. And then there was the Miles Morales that was like the PlayStation launch title for PlayStation
Yeah.
5. Which was, I liked the way they've made Miles, you know, he's black and he's Latino, and like you walk around that apartment and it feels like somebody in my family. So I love the way that his apartment feels compared to like Peter's. Like you can tell this isn't just like generic New York apartment. It like has a different vibe to it, you know? So I was like, oh, that's nice. And like his area of Manhattan that he lives in is different than Peter out in Queens or whatever. And like when he's in Brooklyn at his school is different. And it's like all the little neighborhoods had like their own little vibe to it that was nice. But the story felt flat in that one. So I was like, hopefully they're able to like pick one and Miles and like squish it together in this one. And having both of the protagonists will give you some mixture of the two, and none of it went anywhere for me. Like, I guess we're gonna do this mission next, and then we'll do the next mission, and then we're gonna go to and like I had no motivation, no concern for anybody. Like there was no like, oh no, this person's in trouble. Okay, I guess we're gonna swing over there and do it. And that was the other thing that like a lot of the missions, like you would start as Peter and then it would be like, okay, the next mission is across the water. So I'm like, okay, we're in Manhattan, we got to swing over to Brooklyn. Swing over to Brooklyn, do the fight, whatever. And then it switches to Miles. And where's Miles next mission? Across the water. So I saw more of the East River than I saw of either of the boroughs that they had anything to do. It was just like swing over here, finish that mission, swing back over here, finish that mission, swing back over here. And I was like, he's a spider. He needs to swing. You can't swing on water. Like they give you like these wings and it's like, oh, web wings. I'm like, he's not a bird. Why is he like flying with like this like
To be fair, yeah, the web wings were an original old comic thing that fits.
Yeah, but I feel like it's just a way because there was a point where people were like, well, how does he swing if he has to cross the water? Like, there's no way
Right.
for him to like grab onto a building that's not there. So they were like, oh, we have to come up with like this other way for him to cross the river, even though there's two bridges right there. But I'm like, okay, let's cross the water. And there's like this sliding thing that he can do on the water where like you're just like skiing on the top of the water like he's Jesus. I don't know. But like
Just have a boat.
What?
So you can just
A
swing
boat?
under the boat.
it's just like, yeah, a spider boat or something. Like I swear there was a Spider-Man game where maybe it was like a shield that he would make with the web, but like make a web little ski boat or whatever and just shoot across the water. Easy.
Of course.
I finished the main quest and I still hadn't unlocked fast travel. And I was like, what? Like you have to complete an area of like all the little missions in order to unlock fast travel. That's not like I don't want to have to complete every single mission just to get through fast travel. At that point, I'll have finished the game. So that was a little strange that they did it like that. I don't remember what it was like on the first one, and I know that we unlocked it pretty late in the game also. But I remember I was like, at this point, I'm just swinging over there before I have to complete like 15 missions. So it's good if
Right.
you are a completionist, I think, because there's enough to do. But I was just like, this is just making it harder for me to finish this game by making me swing across, different boroughs again. But the story was kind of okay. And I'm excited to see what they do with the rest of them, but I'm not as thrilled. Like I was super pumped that this was when this was announced. And now I'm like, I don't actually care anymore. Like I'll play
God.
them if I can find them on discount, but like the only one I'm rooting for is Miles at this point. Like I love Miles Morales as a character, and if they decided to do like a spin-off or whatever and just start doing Miles games, awesome, great, Even other people from the Spider-Verse, give me those games. Like I love Peter, but I think we've had enough games with him.
They did have the Miles Morales spin-off of the first one, so who knows? Could
Yeah.
see-
Yeah, so I'm hoping that they do more with Miles because the story wasn't great in that one, but I did enjoy playing that one. And then the last thing that I have on this super long list is Nour or Nour. I don't know. Technically, what this is, it's a technical demo where you just play with food. I had seen this. This was another one that was announced for PlayStation ages ago. And I was like, I'm not gonna play this unless it's like $4 because it's not really a game. You're just playing around with like food, essentially. And so
That's awesome.
it was always on sale for Switch. I'm not playing this like beautiful graphical game on Switch. I have to get it for PlayStation at least. And then the other day I saw that it was on sale on PC for like $2. And I was like, oh, done. It's like 40 minutes long to open everything up to play with all the food on the table. So I was like, done. I will do that, play through it, and then never have to look at this game again.
Oh God.
But it was actually fun, and it doesn't tell you enough. It's very quirky Japanese humor, sort of like Katamari Damacy sort of thing, where it's like, there's one point where like a jellyfish will come out and like snatch food from you, and it's like, what? This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But it was like so interesting that I'm like, I kind of want to get all the achievements because nothing is explained to me. And like the things that I would catch, I was like, okay, cool. I didn't know that was an achievement. But now I want to like go back and like I uninstalled it, but I've been thinking about it since. I'd actually
Oh
go
my God.
back and play that one again. Just because I was like, I don't know what I just experienced, but it was fun. And that's all that I've gotten off my backlogs so far.
Pretty good amount of games, I'd say, honestly.
It's pretty productive, yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike the rest of us. Yeah, I got one title to blabber on about a little bit.
I love that you played this.
Oh yeah? Are you familiar? Okay, so
Yeah.
I played a little thing called How Do You Do It? Which is I think still available as a free download on Steam at least. It's ironically it's unavailable in my region these days for some sort of reason.
That's wild.
It is kind of wild because How Do You Do It is an old indie game released in 2014, I believe, that you can beat in a couple of minutes as you control a little girl home alone playing with her dolls and smashing them together in an attempt to figure out what sex is. That's literally it. And it stops when mom returns. You get a little score of how many sexes you have accomplished by smashing those characters, those puppets together, crudely. And you can also, I guess, technically get two endings. One where you get caught by returning mom, one where you don't get caught by returning mom. Neither of which have any actual bearing on anything. It's just a little experience. I I legit played this right before recording this episode. I thought it was kind of funny because I didn't have any beaten game to talk about in this episode. I thought it would be kind of funny to actually use the search capabilities on the How Long to Beat website to see what is actually the shortest game that has completion times that is on my backlog. And this was just the one that it spit out. And I was able to look that up, download and install it, and complete it 3 times technically in like in a matter of 5 or 6 minutes, like total all of it. So that's my gamer accomplishment today. It is interesting. This game is generally like you would see this kind of stuff a millionfold on itch.io nowadays.
True.
The description claims that it was made for a game jam, you know, the usual, made in 2 days or whatever, and it's just thrown out for free on several platforms, still available now. Back in the day, and I do remember this kind of being a game that was talked about, so I went back to research a little bit earlier. Back in the day, this was still kind of a big deal. 2014 is still pretty early after the big renaissance or wave of indie game development. So this was still a time when stuff like this was not quite as prevalent online. And this genuinely, even though it is such an incredibly short and simple thing, it generally it got articles written about it. It got nominated in awards. It got The Guardian was talking about this, like that. I guess newspaper or whatever you want to call it. Like it was a big thing, and nowadays nobody would bat an eye at this because we have a million indie games that explore these kinds of themes, you know, growing up and figuring out what sex is or whatever. A million different games tackling that to more or less degrees, to more or less success. So it's not novel anymore. But looking back at this kind of shit is kind of fascinating in its own sense. I don't think this game is worthwhile in any other way than historic, historic curiosity. But I don't know. This was a fun kind of little experience that I just did spontaneously to have something on the list, but actually kind of was a neat little 20 minutes rabbit hole. So how do you do it? With dolls. Also, my meta, I think I got the highest score according to the completion notes on How Long to Beat. I got 233 sexes in my best run, which I literally just did by holding the puppets together and having them rotate the entire time. I think that is probably the best strategy. I haven't looked that up, but I wonder if speedrunners are doing that same thing. And I haven't seen any completion notes that claim a bigger number, so I'm kind of like taking that crown proudly.
If you put it on YouTube, maybe you can have you spinning around playing while you do it. Oh, and I wasn't lying. I didn't beat any games this month.
Yeah, no. Bro, I believe you. If you claim you don't beat any games, I believe you. I said in the last time, if you don't bring at least 5 games, I'm gonna have to bring out the whip, and I guess 4 games later on. So you know what that means after the recording. But yeah, I guess that concludes our beaten category. Moving us forward into the retired/paused category. To be fair, I could have put stuff here that I haven't touched in the last 2 weeks, but I don't feel like they are truly retired or paused. I'm still playing them, so I just left them out.
Mm.
Yeah, I won't do it unless truly retired or paused kind of thing.
Unless
Yeah.
it's an active decision to retire or pause something, it's not on here. Yeah. But again, the only person that got something to talk about here is Leah, so take it away.
I've been so productive by throwing things in the trash. So, officially retired, the Pathless, which is still only 6 hours, so I should be able to get through it. It's a fun game, but it's so frustrating because I can't look up for help because, again, it's like procedurally made. So, like, nobody's game looks the same. So it's just like, I want to finish it, but I'm stuck and nobody can help me because nobody else is seeing what I'm seeing. So I was like, I guess I'm gonna just have to give up on this. Supermarket Simulator Prologue, specifically.
Oh,
I don't know that there's like more to this besides the prologue, but I don't know why this was even on my pause. Like, what happened here is I went through my pause list and just shoved a bunch of stuff onto actually retired, and this was one of them. So that got pushed to, because like I haven't played it since the first time I opened it.
Yeah.
And then the next ones are after I finished Infinity Nikki. I was like, my big complaint about Infinity Nikki is that I wish that there was more action and more, like, there's only 2 bosses in the entire storyline. So I was like, I want something that has more action. But good to know, a lot of gacha games have action. So I was like, I'm going to download all the ones that look vaguely interesting and I'm going to play them. So obviously the first one is Genshin Impact. They just kind of throw you into this world and they kind of give you like an intro, like who this person is. But because the way that Genshin is a gacha is you get different characters. So like your character is going to change. So like your background for this one character you start with doesn't really mean anything. So you have to have motivation to play the game and not being like, oh, I'm going to help this character get their goal done. Because like that character is going to change at some point. And they're like, oh, just go to this city. And I'm like, why are we going to this city for? Like, are they going to help me on my quest? No, it's just because that's the city that's there. And I was like, this is so boring to me to play because it's like there's no motivation behind anything. It's just like, just go over there. Why? Because it's there. Okay, cool. Like beyond that, there was like nothing. So I was like, this is not the game for me. So my thing for these 3 games were play for 30 minutes or finish the tutorial and then figure out which one I was going to pick up. So that was the first one. Second one was Wuthering Waves, which almost was my favorite. Kind of like wilderness, sort of like, I guess like Horizon Zero Dawn, sort of like medieval, sort of Zelda-like area where it's like it's not completely technological, but it's not also, you know, just you know, you're not in the wilderness or whatever. Like they have swords and stuff, but it's like there's creatures involved and not everybody is like, you know, and it's not all like techie, which was great. But then everybody has like Chinese names, which is fine because these are all Chinese games. But the thing is that it's like this fantasy world. And then like your best friend is like named Tim and John.
Tim and John.
Tim the Enchanter.
But like they're Chinese names, so it's supposed to sound exotic to like Westerners, I guess. But it was just kind of like, if everybody's name is just like some Chinese name, I'm like, if you were Chinese, you would be like, this is just Sally. Like, These have to be like just normal names. And I was just like, you can't have like a fantasy world and then just have something that's like.
Maybe it's trying to subvert expectations, and apparently it's working.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very popular. But I was like, also sometimes they had to like explain things. You know how like in manga, they'll mention something and then there's like the translation thing on top where it's like, this is actually a game that everybody likes to play. Blah, blah, blah. So they do that
Yeah.
in the dialogue of this. And it was so weird because it was like, you have to go see the magistrate. That means official. And I was like, I understand. Like, you don't need to like translate on top of your translation for me.
They're gonna really make sure you know what's happening, okay? Like,
Yeah.
really make sure.
It would be like, you have to go to this city. What is the city? Nobody explains, but you have to explain what a magistrate is and you have to explain what a shield is. I was just like, okay, like, if you're gonna like pick and choose things, and there was a lot of terminology where I was just like, this is way too much exposition for me to get off the bat that you expect me to remember. I played that for an hour and that was only the tutorial.
Jeez. It sounds very inviting.
It was actually, honestly, if it wasn't for like all the names being so obviously like of its origin, I was enjoying it up until that point, and I was like, listen, I'm not remembering any of this thing that you're telling me. Zenless Zone Zero was the next one that I played, and that one is basically just near. Like everything is like it's so technological.
Is it?
Everybody's got guns. Everybody's just like running around and like robots and androids and stuff. I don't even know how the gacha works in that one. Like I was just playing and it was like, here's your new character. And I'm like, how did I get this guy? I don't even understand the currency here. So what was cool about this one though is the way that they do their cutscenes because they make them look like animated comic books. So that was really cool. So that one was very interestingly put together, but again, it was a lot of like the dystopias that are fun to me are not really the technological ones. I kind of like to see like where nature is like overtaking things again.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like and I like to see, you know, like that sort of like decay where it's like, oh, everything's lush and green again, or like you're just running around in this field. That's a little bit more interesting to me than, you know, the robots have taken over. Everything is metal now. And it's like, okay, well, that's not exciting to me. And the last two, I guess technically, but they're connected that I retired was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor. Because I can't play Survivor unless I finish Fallen Order. And Fallen Order has just not been fun for me. And it's one of those ones that I would have played with like a couch co-op buddy. But my boyfriend has forgotten that this game exists. If I don't have anybody to like buddy up and like help me through this, I'm not gonna finish this game because I'm just getting more frustrated with it. So I am very close to finishing every game that I currently own for PlayStation. So I will have gotten through my PlayStation backlog this year, which is wild to me.
Oh, wow.
And then you can
Congrats.
purchase more.
Yeah.
That's true. But there's at least 3 games that my dad owns that I'm like, can you bring those to me? I will have more eventually to play, but it's wild that I spent all of the PlayStation 3 not playing games to have to go back and play through all the ones that I wanted to play from PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and now PlayStation 5, and now to be like, there's like 2 games left on this backlog here. It's kind of an interesting, cool place to be finally, where now I will fully be able to focus on PC games, not be like, oh, but I have this other console that's waiting for me. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Frick them home consoles. PC is where it's at. You know that.
Mm.
And you will learn that.
Yeah.
Okay. That is then all the retired and paused. We're moving on to playing. We got a bit more variety here, thankfully. So, getting the obvious out of the way, I'm still having my regular Mills matches with my friend in that
Hell yeah.
backgammon plus checkers plus Mills release. We still have not ever touched backgammon or checkers in that. We do not care. Mills is where it's at. Good shit. And we've also been playing Murky Diver still going through that gameplay loop. It is basically, never ending stuff. So, nothing grand to tell there. What is new is that I have fallen straightforward, headfirst back into the habit of playing Magic for real. Like I talked last time
Oh
already that I
yeah.
was playing that one old delisted Magic game that was still hanging out in my Steam backlog. Yeah, after that and after talking with Roy on and off mic, I just like um, made that urge even bigger to like look more into what's happening with Magic nowadays. And I have, because of that, reinstalled the current official way to play Magic digitally, which is Magic the Gathering Arena. And that has honestly consumed all of my gaming free time since the last time we recorded. That's why I haven't really played anything else. Plus, also just not having too much time in general recently. But the little that I had, it was usually playing Magic, either on PC or through my phone when I was, I don't know, taking a shit on company time or whatever. Love that stuff. I highly recommend Magic the Gathering. Again, I haven't actively played for over 10 years back in high school with friends, and I haven't really had people to play with in real life for a long time. The digital realm for Magic kind of always never seemed like too appealing to me because I'm expecting in the competitive area to people just have figured out the meta and having all the big cards that they paid money for and then just beat you to a pulp. So I kind of refrain from playing those usually. I'm glad I kind of jumped over my shadow and like gave Arena a try again, I guess, because I forgot about this. Apparently, I had this installed a couple years ago before and was mingling around there a little bit because I had an account already that was able to log into. I completely forgot about all of that shit. One of the first things that I saw when I logged into my, I think, 10-year-old Arena account, or close to 10-year-old, was a custom made deck I built, apparently, that was called Piss in the Shower, a blue black deck, and that was funny. Unfortunately, too old to be legal in current competitive format, but I had some fun playing that non-competitive, non-ranked matches against a couple people to get back into Magic in that space. But I generally have, like, I've started to unlock booster packs as you do in that to get modern cards and build an actual viable deck for proper competitive play in proper current formats. I have played ranked matches and gotten to certain ranks, I guess. I
Yeah.
am a gold rank right now. I started at a bronze, and that's pretty cool. Pretty happy about that. Playing mostly modern, or am I playing standard? For whoever that means anything. Like I'm playing the current main formats on there, and that's cool. What was really cool though, this blew my mind. I was already playing for a couple of days, and I always saw in the corner of the screen there was like a notification badge at like a message thing, and I glanced at that briefly once, and it just looked like advertising messages from the past 10 years or so, where they were just telling me, you know, the new card set is out, go spend money or whatever. So I never actually clicked on those. I just let the unread message notification blink on and ignored it. A couple days later, eventually I got curious again and I took a closer look, and it turned out these messages from the past almost 10 years all contained claimable booster packs. And so, actually clicking through them all, I ended up with 65 booster packs, or like something a bit over 60 booster packs that I was just able to open from all sets in the game out of the past 10 years or so. So, that was exciting. Getting back to something like this, a collectible card game, a competitive space and whatnot, and just being blasted with a bunch of cards that you did not have to pay for in any sort of way. It was quite the welcome package. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very glad I remembered I had an old account and was able to log in. Otherwise, I would not have that privilege. So I'm having fun building decks with all of that nonsense. Huge fan of a card set that came out last year that's called Bloomburrow, full of little woodland critters like raccoons and rats and mice and otters and whatever. Really happy I didn't, get back into Magic like years from now where that set is not viable in the current format anymore or whatever. Having fun with that shit. Not having too much fun with I guess that might be too mean, but it is weird to see how much branded stuff there's in Magic the Gathering these days. I remember
Yeah.
10 years ago, one of the reasons, aside from like losing contact to people that played with me, one of the reasons I actually fell off of Magic was that it started to have branded card sets that were not original stuff anymore, but some spin off things with other franchises, which I didn't care about back then. Magic kind of lost its touch to me or whatever in some regards like that.
It
Uh,
lost the magic touch.
no, I mean, I gained the magic touch of capitalism. So they still got that. It is kind of interesting to see now, 10 years later, not having paid attention, that is truly still going on. It only has grown. It is a big talking point among players that it has. Like, it seemed like every second card set right now is some franchise thing, some tie-in. Currently, there's a huge Final Fantasy set that is really popular. So you play Magic and you see some chocobos and a cloud strife and whatever popping up in the middle of your Magic game, which is interesting, I guess. Just a weird space. It really has become the Fortnite of trading card games.
Yeah, it's pretty controversial, I can tell you that. I know a lot of guys who
Yeah.
played Magic for a while and are pretty iffy on it.
Like I've watched, YouTube stuff and whatever, Magic related content as I started playing again. So I'm familiar with that whole argument among the players as well. Sort of affirmed or confirmed with this because back in the day, I feel like I was the only one that was not into that when it was still novel and fresh, I guess. People were not as critical of that, I feel. So nowadays that people are actually kind of pushing back against that partially, I kind of feel like, okay, maybe I'm not the crazy one. That's kind of cool. At the same time, though, I think my old ass is kind of ready to stop giving a shit and just enjoying the nonsense. So I'm kind of in between chairs in that sense. In September, there's gonna be a brand new set based on Spider-Man. We got the Spider-Man
Yeah.
cards. And to be honest, I might actually hit up the local comic store and like participate in some of the events with other
I mean,
actual people.
that'd be cool if you ask me.
Yeah, I might just play a bit of Spider-Man magic with other human beings. Who knows? Like, I'm ready to accept the bullshit and just have fun with it. Though I think I will always prefer the original magic stuff for
Yeah.
sure.
I would also say, while not on Arena, we had some fun playing some games
Oh, yeah.
against each other, too.
Yeah, we had a good evening playing Magic the Gathering through I think it's even open source, like the free software called Cockatrice, which is not official or whatever, but it is a popular tool to play Magic the Gathering for free without any limitations, really, with other people. That's been cool, yeah. We definitely have to do some funky shenanigans through that, like drafting some old 90s sets or whatever. I really want to do that. There's not gonna be any other way to do that. And that's what makes
Yeah.
Cockatrice cool. It makes things in Magic the Gathering available that you would not be able to do in real life unless you, I guess, printed out old unavailable cards on paper or whatever. I guess that would
Or you're
always be
really
like
rich.
or you're really rich, yeah. But no, I'm excited to explore that a bit as well. But yeah, that has really and truly eaten most of my free time. I'm so back into this goddamn nonsense, this 30-plus-year-old card game. This card game is literally as old as I am. I was born the same year as this was created, 1993. It's I love the immense like size of it and how much it includes. There's so much freedom in this nonsense. And I actually purchased my first real physical cards a couple days ago. They are still on their way here, which I guess that as well is just gonna be another push for me to actually talk to real human beings and play with them. Otherwise, those are kind of like a useless purchase. But it's exciting to have that nonsense on the way. The first time I bought physical cards in 10 years. It's gonna be fun. And it is generally falling back into like an old passion that you had a long time in the past, like really falling back into that flame being really uh, lit up again after such a long time. That is such a joyful, euphoric experience. I'm actually really, really happy this happened to me
Yeah,
recently. Yeah.
I can relate to that. I remember when I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Some very similar feelings.
Yeah.
Honestly, just playing Magic with you, it was quite fun. I probably will try to get some more stuff on Arena and make it a
Hell
bit
yeah.
easier for us to play again with that.
Yeah, I would love to. Like Cockatrice is cool in what you can do in there, but it would be cool to also have Arena as a platform to play on in the with the same limitations, having that sort
Yeah,
of
yeah.
space to play against.
And not having the
Yeah.
board appear weirdly like it did for you.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know why, but my board in Cockatrice was fucked up when we played. Unfortunately, I did find the setting now that fixed it. So next time we
Oh,
have a
you did?
match, I can actually see shit properly.
Good, good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Magic the Gathering. That's enough of me blabbering about that real life gacha game. And I guess the only thing that I've left to mention briefly is Kind Words 2 is still something I boot up occasionally to remotely talk to some strangers about things that trouble me or whatever. That's still a good platform to have on every now and then. Not really anything new to tell there, so that's just a quick aside. So I'm ready to give the torch to whoever of you want to talk about their playing games.
For me, honestly, pretty low list of games. Wordle, the Eternal, which I did finish. And by the way, it was an E involved. I already had
No
one. There were two
way.
E. There was two.
That's
It was the
crazy.
second one. I already kind of figured that admittedly, but I just tried it. But it's still Wordle. It's still it's what 819 now, 819 streak. Maybe I'll hit the
Oh
four
my god.
digits. We'll see. More tabletop simulator, more playing like HeroScape kind of stuff. Not as much as recently, but I mean, not much to really say there, honestly. I played like a few rounds of Ballad because I have like a month of free Game Pass that a friend he's like, I have 3 months of Game Pass already, and I purchased an electronic thing and it gave me a free month, so take it kind of thing. I think I mentioned that
Mhm.
before. So I just booted it up and played it a little. I don't know, I'm kind of feeling like Balatro, I'm not sure that's one of my higher end roguelikes still. I mentioned it a lot before though, so I don't really need to relitigate everything. And then I've been playing Arc Knights again after a bit of a break from it. Got a whole bunch of stuff going through the roguelike mode on that, which I'd probably say was grabbing more than fun, just kind of going through it, but I have little to actually say, is how I would put it. It was just kind of a good time playing through the roguelike mode, so I wasn't really getting much story or anything. And,
Yeah, fair enough.
just kind of enjoying the gameplay, chilling out. And yeah, this was a 2 week period where football's starting next month. So
Oh
I've been
boy.
doing like fantasy football drafts, and then I've been doing a bunch of other stuff. So I
Oh,
just
you
haven't been
nerd.
really. Oh yeah, trust me, you have no idea. But so
Shocker.
because of that, I just haven't been playing games as much the past 2 weeks. Basically, that's really kind of it for the game playing, though.
Okay.
Well, back to the star of
All
the
right.
show, Leah.
Yeah, so the first thing is the only thing that has succeeded the other gotchas. Although I'm not technically sure that this is considered a gotcha, but Tower of Fantasy, I initially had found my boyfriend and I used to play EverQuest, and I wasn't really enjoying it. So I was like, I'm gonna look for other free-to-play MMOs and see like which ones I'm going to get into. And what I ended up with was Elder Scrolls Online and Tower of Fantasy. But again, I had so many other games on my backlog that I was like, I can't stick to a game that kind of has no end to it when I have all these other games on my backlog to get through.
Yeah.
So now that there's even less, I was like, oh, let me see if I can get back into my old account and get through. But unfortunately, in between the last time I was playing and now, they did like a server swap. So apparently everybody had to like opt into having your data moved to the new server. So I missed out on that. So I have to start all over. But apparently I wasn't that far because in one session I was able to get up to where exactly I was when I left. This one is a little bit more kind of like Wuthering Waves, but it's a little bit more technologically advanced. So it's like in between Wuthering Waves and Zenless Zone Zero. But what's fun about this one is that you get to customize your own character. So like it's more of your choice in this character at first. And I think basically the stuff that you obtain through pulls and stuff ends up being your weapons and shields and stuff like that. And it's not really characters, it's just like things that you add on to your character. So it's a little bit more personable than the other ones that I played. So probably in between whatever other story game that I'm playing and going back to whatever Infinity Nikki has going on in the future, I'll probably be playing this one also. But it's so far enjoyable because it also has some interesting characters where like you kind of understand like, oh, this guy is the big burly guy, this is like the small droid that's going to help you, this is like your best friend or whatever. So like the world is a little bit more lighthearted than a few of the other ones where it was just like this is clearly like a destroyed world where you have to like rebuild it or whatever, or like everybody's under like martial law of robots or something. So I enjoyed it back then, so I was like, oh, I'll pop back in maybe, in between everything else that I've got going on and see. So far, yeah, I just got back to where I was and so far it's decent. So unless it gets some update that completely destroys it, just like Infinity Nikki, then I'll probably be playing this in between certain things. And then finally,
Awesome.
my beautiful, beautiful Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I am back in Los Santos, and I'm so happy to be back in this game. This is like my ultimate cozy game. I have always loved this game from the first time playing it. There's so much going on in it, and it's like I remember so much of the map too. Like as I was driving around, I'm like, no, the map is telling me to go this way, but I know there's a shortcut this way. So I was like, okay, I can just go down this way. And it was so nostalgic to be like, oh yeah, I remember like having these haircuts for him and going to this one specific gym. And oh yeah, like this is the meal we always get when we go to Clucking Bell. And like it's like all these certain things that are like, oh yeah, I remember doing all of these things for CJ, and like leave the house and immediately go to the gym, and then you have to eat something and then you go to the mission. And it was like I had like a whole little like schedule for him during the day, and it was like so great to be like, oh yeah, I remember this is great, this is where like then you got to buy this house so you can be on this side of the map when you need the missions over here. And then oh yeah, eventually we'll get that one, and that one has like 4 spaces for cars, so that one's the best house. So like it was so
Damn.
nice to be driving around and being like, oh my god, I love this map that they built here, and I can't wait to like actually. I'm almost out of Los Santos, so like that's when you get to like the countryside and like you start doing like all the bigger missions, and it's not just like the gang stuff. And that's really where like I start enjoying it, because it's like, oh, I love going to like the Las Vegas, like Las Venturas and San Fierro and all that stuff. I'm like, I love driving back and forth between the cities, is like my favorite thing. So I'm so excited to finally be back, Like I do wish it was a little bit more updated than what we got. Like it's a nice upgrade to Definitive Edition now that they've ironed out all the kinks and everything. But like I find myself being like, I wish that this had the graphics of Saints Row or the graphics of Red Dead, which like those games exist and they're better for it because this game happened. So it's so interesting to be like, oh, I wish I could be playing the game that came after this that is better because this game started what I liked in those. But like I'll just drive around Los Santos all the time. Like GTA 5, I hate that version of the West Coast. I don't like the the hills there is annoying, and like everything about the countryside is bland. But, like this version of the West Coast is like bar none is my favorite map. Love this thing. So I would love to see like an updated version of Liberty City in the same way, like with 4 was a really good version of Liberty City because it was a little closer to what New York actually is with the boroughs instead of it just being like vaguely parts of Manhattan like it was in 3. And like all the little spin-offs that they had in that map. Um I'll always love to be back in Liberty City even if they like tag it on as like GTA Online or something like that. And I know that we're gonna have to go back to Vice City in the next one when 6 comes
Yeah.
out. So like I guess I'll deal with Vice City again. But like San Andreas, still my favorite. So I may end up just 100%ing this game again. Just because I'm just so happy to be here and I don't want to leave it. So we'll see how
That's
that
awesome,
goes.
honestly. Yeah. I don't think I've ever, like, obviously, GTA is wildly successful and popular. But I don't think I've ever seen a person so in love with these GTA games like you are. It's honestly awesome.
It is cool to hear about the intricacies and the opinions on
That
them.
yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Because we talked about shooting the hookers and whatever. It legit seems that people are just talking about those tropes.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever hear people like you actually praising the details of these games.
Yeah. Yeah. This be San Andreas and 4 have been, and I guess Red Dead 2 also, but that's later on, so it's fine. But San Andreas and GTA 4 are the only 2 games where as the credits were rolling, I was so sad. And I was like, the story that I just experienced, and I was like, I don't know what to do with myself. Like, I watched the movie or something, and it was just like, I spent all this time with these characters, and now to just sit there and be like, that's the end for them. I was like, what do you mean? Like, bring us back to like 3 missions ago where everything was happy. Like, bring me there. So yeah, I'm getting to the point of like seeing where we're getting out of Los Santos and like knowing what's to come. It's just like, oh no, it's very like it's so interesting because like I can't wait to get there, but I don't want these characters to go through this. So it's like, oh, great.
You are making me want to play some GTA game actually for the story for the first time ever.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be interesting to see as well. I mean, maybe someday I'll pop one out. I've wanted to, just never done so.
I don't know. I would say if you're going to play one of them, GTA 4 would probably be the best because I think that that one is a little bit more serious with the storyline and a little bit more like your choices matter. Where like there's the ending is going to be sad either way, but like there's so much to do that you kind of like feel a little bit more connected to Nico's story. But like San Andreas is CJ's a black man. So it's hard to understand that if you're not a black man in America. Claude's story and also in Vice City, I've forgotten the damn guy's name. But
Oh,
that's how
God.
much I don't care about Vice City. Their stories are
Yeah.
kind of more like they're criminals. They're in, working their way up or whatever. So it's kind of like they're so beyond. But Nico is just a dude. He's just like an Eastern European guy who just shows up in America
Right.
and he's just like, let's see what we do, you know. So I think his story is a little easier for people to understand, from a working class outsider perspective versus like a race or, a criminal organization perspective. 4 has the DLC is the episodes of Liberty City, which I would say the Ballad of Gay Tony is probably the best of the GTAs. And I wish it was a full game. And I would love to get another full game with those characters because they're again like with Miles Morales, like it's rare that I see like Latino characters in games that I can sort of relate to, and that got the protagonist of Ballad of Gay Tony was Dominican, so it was closer to my experience as a Puerto Rican from New York than I've ever seen in a game. And I was like, oh my god, this is so real to like hear him talk to his friends the way that like people I know spoke. So it was like, this is too real. I'm not supposed to see this in games. This is not the thing that you see in
Yeah.
games, you know? So it was like, wow, this is so cool for me to be like, oh, to see characters that like look like me and talk like me in games, you know? It's like, that's really cool. And that may like 4 is probably the best story, I think. But also specifically that like the one with the bikers, I don't care about that DLC, but Ballad of Gay Tony is great. And I think now they just kind of put them all together as one game. So like if you buy 4, you get all of them.
Yeah. hmm It's kind of, I just had the thought. The Ballad of Gay Tony is one of those things that I have always heard about without knowing anything about it. I just had the thought it's kind of like the Citizen Kane of movies, and everybody has heard of it. Not everybody has actually engaged with it. It
Yeah.
seems to me like it.
I
Yeah.
don't know about that. It's very
Yeah.
I
funny.
remember
The Ballad of Gay Kane out here.
Oh yeah.
I remember when they were announcing it, and I remember like it was at that time where like gay and transgender people were still like the butt of jokes. So it was like I don't know which way this is going to go. So I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. Like I'm still gonna play it and I'm still gonna like it, but I wasn't gonna be as offended as other people might have been. Again, it's one of my favorites, so it was pretty cool. Tony's not actually the protagonist, so
Right.
he's just there. But
I think you have made me buy 2 games during this episode, which is a
okay.
first. I'm gonna get that GTA 4, I think.
Yeah, you also were going to play Bully, right? That's a Rockstar game.
True, yeah, I do like bullying kids. I said that before, so yeah, I'm gonna play that at some point.
Good way to start it off.
That is one thing that Rockstar has going for it. There are no kids in the GTA series. Can't run over kids.
Is that a good or bad thing?
I mean, I would consider it a good thing, but
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
I guess you can do that in Inzoi though, apparently, which I have not played yet.
Isn't Inzoi a Sims like competitor or whatever?
But
Yeah.
apparently
Yeah.
you can run over kids with the
over?
cars. Yeah, I don't know if they patched it or whatever.
Can you not do that in The Sims?
No. Unfortunately not. You can do other horrible things though.
In The Sims, you can't run over kids, but you can neglect them enough where child services comes to get
Jesus
them.
Christ. Yeah. Video games.
The classic jump from Grand Theft Auto to Citizen Kane to child abuse.
Jesus. Classic pipeline. Oh my
The
god.
way that it works in Sims though is that there's a certain pool, like they have the townies, which are just like the NPCs that the game just randomly generates to like populate your town. If you adopt a kid, it'll just randomly generate a kid. But people realize that if you have kids in the house and they get taken away from child services, they're the first in the pool to come back as an adopted kid somewhere else. So some people will play the game and like build a house with a bunch of kids so they can get taken by workers so you can then adopt those kids into other houses. So
What?
it's so weird. The way
The
they get
the-
first preference in the pool of adoptable kids if they're user created versus NPC like randomly generated townie kids.
I mean, I suppose.
Jesus.
You like because otherwise you just like, hey, I want to adopt a kid, and they just show up with a kid. Like you don't get to like choose which kid. So that's the way that people get to choose the kid is like, oh, I'll just create this kid in another family, have them taken away so that person can.
The Sims child neglection meta. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is that there's tools in the game where like you can just add a kid to the family and be like, okay, now that's your daughter or whatever. You don't have to go through the stress of having the kid taken away.
Yeah.
Bring them back.
That confuses me. Yeah.
But what if you want the
There's been-
traumatic backstory, the drama?
Well, yes. They do have little memories that get attached to them. So I guess maybe that's the thing. But
Oh yeah, if I wanna specifically adopt a kid with trauma, hell yeah.
yes,
I
sure.
love Sims.
There's been times where like like you have a family and the father or something, as it happens in Sims, gets hit by a satellite because he was looking through a telescope.
Yeah.
So like
As one does.
then there's no
Yeah.
he has like a kid somewhere else, then you're like, oh, I'll just bring his kid into this household and then they can raise his kid in that household. Fine. I don't have to
I
go
mean-
through. I mean, I guess they have trauma because their dad died by satellite, but you know.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, instead of going through all the rigmarole of getting them taken away, you could just kill the parents.
Yeah.
Well, how did we get here? What the fuck? Holy crap.
People are gonna really want, especially because the Sims aren't even on any of the games lists. But I suppose it does make sense that the kids that you user create are at the top of the adoption list, because in a sense they have God's favor. You are like the creator of the world.
Oh my god.
Sure.
Fantastic talk. I greatly enjoyed this.
I know.
That
It very neatly concludes that section of our podcast.
yeah, definitely, yeah. The
I
perfect
think we
ending
talked
to
more
this.
about The Sims than any of the games we actually played.
One day somebody might even play Sims. Who knows?
I do like SimCity.
Anyway, it's time to move on to our discussion topic this episode, which is, broadly speaking, seasonal games. Some people like to pick and choose the games they play according to whatever time of the year it is, for some reason or another. I certainly belong to them. I don't know about you two. So I guess let us start with the first and obvious question. Do you do this stuff? Do you ever choose games according to what time of the year it is or something like that?
No, not really. I think the most that I do that with is that a lot of gacha games would do events at certain seasonal times of the
Oh
year.
gosh.
Because of that, like, because I play Archetypes, I'll be like, I'll log in during now. But I'm not really sure I do much aside from that. I'm more likely, probably it's something I do more seasonally, is like when I'm making movesets for that moveset creation thing. Halloween
Right,
is like
yeah,
a holiday, a lot of people post stuff. So like I'll do something for that. But
That's interesting.
I mean, there's not a lot of, I don't even think there's really a lot of summer games, it feels like, in a sense.
Dude, there's tons of summer games. What are you talking about, dog?
I mean,
Fuck.
there's games that are summery, but not like summer games, if that makes sense.
That are a
In the
lot
same
of
way, there's
beach
like
ones.
there's not beach games, yeah,
Yeah.
but there's Christmas games, but I don't know how many
Yeah,
I've
sure
really
is.
I don't know how many I've looked at. Playing spooky games around Halloween a few times, I suppose, but
Yeah,
not
that's
anything
obvious, right?
consistent. I like how hardcore Matt's like, come on, man.
Yeah. I'm the freakazoid here. Leah, tell me I'm not crazy.
I will say that the only time that I tend to do this is with Twitch. Like I tried to
Oh yeah.
when I first started out on Twitch, I would do like little themes to certain things where it was like, oh, this since like it's Valentine's, we're gonna play like 5 dates or something, or like for Christmas, we're gonna play. That was when I first played Lake, which was set during Christmas. So I was like, okay, we'll play that,
Yeah.
whatever, and that sort of thing. But the closest thing that I do is in Sims, they have seasons, and so um so like the seasons go by so fast because their time is so fast. So it's not really, to me, it's not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm playing Christmas for 2 minutes of my day and then switching to springtime. It's ridiculous. So but when it's Christmas time for me, or like Halloween time for me, I will decorate the Sims house to be like, oh yeah, you need all these little things because it's that time. Even though for them it's summer for like the next 20 minutes. But you know, I'll do that sort of thing. At Christmas time, I
Damn.
will be a little bit more. I will play more games that are like set during Christmas or like wintry games. Again, also Red Dead 2 during the holiday months, they put snow on the map all over, so you get to like run around and play in the snow, and you don't have snowballs like GTA 5 online has, but um
Unfortunate.
Halloween and Christmas time are like the two most active times for Red Dead Online.
Right.
So that's
Oh.
always just like, oh, the winter's coming up. We're gonna start playing spooky stuff, and then we're gonna have like, cheery holiday stuff in Red Dead. So that's fun. But yeah, like only when there's certain games that have like events online are
Damn.
basically the only time where I'm like, oh, I've just gotten forced into this. So but it is
I
nice in The
mean,
Sims to go through because like I forget sometimes what are available. And then when I'm just like, oh, I like, yeah, you can put a tree up and you put some, fairy lights, the end. But I'm like, no, there's also like, you can put like the house lights outside and you can put like stuff in the yard, like uh, Christmas, snowman and like Santa. I don't know if they're called that. I think it's Father Christmas in The Sims. Is his name.
does
Oh,
Father
what?
Christmas come and take the children sometimes? Gift them to new homes?
Yeah, and the Sims they go hard with the holidays too, because like the Sims they also have like the Easter Bunny, and there's like fireworks for like summer holidays. It's not specifically for July 4th, but like you can get like fireworks and like there's all these
Ugh.
different things, and they also have like festivals. So like Comic-Con will be coming up, and then you have to go. Sims have to go to that. It gets a little too complicated, so you have to like pick and choose with what specifically your Sims they have to do. But yeah, it
So
is
no
it is fun
Arbor
to
Day Sims
yeah.
expansion.
Not yet.
Someday.
I suppose maybe next year I'll play some Metal Gear. Hit that summer July 4th energy.
I guess I am the freakazoid here then. I love doing this shit with all sorts of media, to be honest. Like, yes.
I do it with movies, sure.
I also do it more with movies, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's actually bringing me to a question that I wanted to ask then, because I feel like that is very common. Why not for games as well? And what makes that difference?
I can tell you an easy reason off the top of my head. Two easy reasons, actually. First off, a lot of times if I'm watching a seasonal movie, I'm watching it with someone. Whereas a game, I'm probably playing solo a lot of the time.
Okay.
Secondly, because a movie a lot of times is a commitment of about 2 hours. So I just, if it's Christmas, I'm just going to fit it when I'm doing Christmas stuff with someone already. Whereas a lot of games I would consider playing on Christmas or whatever, like if I'm going to play Resident Evil for Halloween, that's like 8 hours, not 2 hours. You know what I mean? There's not no games that are short like that, but they're not necessarily the games that come to my head. Yeah, exactly. Those I'd say are the two main reasons. There's a lot of times, like, even though I'll watch something on Christmas, it's not necessarily even a Christmas movie. We decided to pivot to something else because we're like, why don't we watch this?
Yeah, it's like a Lord of the Rings gets played a lot during Christmas. It's not technically a Christmas movie, but
what
like
the fuck?
they're all very long movies, but like we always watch them for some reason.
No, that's a Christmas classic. You gotta go to Mount Doom and warm yourself up in the cold.
Okay, sure, I can respect that. Fuck, man.
But
meanwhile,
yeah.
Oh no, go ahead.
I think if there's games that like you can theme like Christmas, like if there's like a puzzle game where they have like a Christmas level, I have like one of those water sort ones, but it's like a Christmas sort, so it's like a bell and a piece of holly, and you're just supposed to. I play that during Christmas, even though like for 5 seconds at a time, and I'm just like, whatever. This is my Christmas game that I play.
Honestly,
what you're not doing a deep dive into Bible Adventures on the NES or like Baby Jesus Christ RPG?
Oh, come on, Matt.
Steam?
I'm not gonna wait until Christmas
I'll
for
play
that.
Bible Adventures any time of year.
Get the hell out of here.
I can't wait on that, okay? I gotta do it now.
Ugh.
I also would say one thing. I would not be surprised if I do it more often solely because I am on the podcast now and it would be topical to talk about.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But like holidays aside, dog, I guess I'm the only one here, but I love picking up games that are actually set in cold environments during winter. I did that whole snowmobile racing marathon last winter and stuff. And of course, fall is mostly horror stuff. It's not that there's not that much variety there, I guess. Summer though, okay, to me, summer games are a lot of games in like tropical, warm environments or whatever. This year I played stuff like that speedboat racing game, Aquadelic GT, or like Aquamoto Racing, that sort of thing are all summer games to me that I love to play during that season, partially to partially to pass the time because I don't like summer.
Summer does kind of suck.
I'm glad we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
I think in the case of summer, it is generally like I do this partially because playing thematic games like that actually gives the season something positive for me. Complete opposite with like seasons like winter or fall that I love, where it enhances the season to me when I engage in media that incorporates it in some sort of way. I love doing it. Also, it's just as we all have the million title backlogs. Okay, I guess Leah not so much maybe.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
mostly me with that one.
another like decision maker for me that I like to have or whatever.
Matt,
Man,
I got a question.
please, yeah.
You haven't mentioned spring once. Are there any spring games you play? Or is spring just the fuck off
Spring's where
season?
everything else goes.
I actually love that you asked that. In my personal notes, I have those seasons in there. Starting with summer, it's obvious, it's the aquatic races, whatever. Fall, it's obvious, it's the horror and Halloween games, whatever. Winter, it's obvious, it's snow and cold. Spring doesn't exist in games to me. I guess technically you could put games like Flower, that indie game that's pretty good, or like
Yeah.
Bee Simulator, which seems pretty nice.
You can play
But it-
basically any game with a rabbit and say it's Easter's.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for a good Watership Down game.
Oh God.
I mean, that could be sick.
I mean, you could also put like visual novels and like romance games in spring
Yeah.
also.
Hey, I'm not playing those.
Really?
I want the breakups.
I mean, that is still a type of
That's
romance
winter.
game.
That is winter. Okay. No,
I
I don't
mean,
know. Spring
definitely-
just doesn't exist in media. I feel
Yeah.
compared to the other 3 seasons, it's
So-
much less defined or whatever.
I have a personal theory on that, actually.
Oh shoot, give it to me.
Spring is the default season in people's head for a lot of things. Therefore, everything else is the variant of it.
Spring is the default season.
Yeah.
Because
I
think
feel like
about it.
summer is the default season for most people.
No, because people talk about how school is out, therefore it's different from the other parts of the year. It's really hot in some parts of the country, all that kind of stuff. No, it's always gets shown. Now it's time to go to the beach. You have events and stuff. No, it's different. It's not the default.
Interesting.
The default
I've
is just
never
kind
heard
of
this theory.
modest weather, kind of a light breeze, probably kind of green, have some flowers around. You look at a lot of movies and stuff. If they're not set during the season, it'll probably look a bit like that.
It's because of Super Mario Bros. Like everything was flowers in that. So ever since then, spring has been the default in video games.
I mean, think
Holy
about
crap.
it. What season would you classify the Mushroom Kingdom as a lot of the times? Probably spring.
Well, mushrooms mostly grow in fall.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Piranha plants.
I mean, yeah, look at those plants.
And also bullet bills
That's-
are very lovely in the spring.
Yeah,
I
sure.
love the sound of bullet bills in the spring.
God damn.
You know it goes cicadas in the summer, bills in the spring.
Yeah. My grandpa always said that. This is horrible.
Honestly, I've got to say, there is one other thing with seasonal games that's probably a bit unfair, but especially various holiday games. I feel like a lot of games that are specifically made for a holiday, like Christmas games and stuff, kind of suck.
Well, yeah. Because mostly they're just cash grabs.
Right. So I think that's
For
kind
an
of
obvious
sometimes
buck.
a bit of a downer. It feels like a lot of times,
I mean, it is September as this episode comes out, so it would be kind of weird to focus on Christmas games. But we're here with that now. Is there any good Christmas game? Does anybody know one?
Fuck, that's a good question.
Silence.
Yeah.
I did enjoy Home Alone on Game Boy.
Any good Christmas video game? Let's see what it says.
Fuck.
According to to give you an idea, the first thing it says is Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's
okay,
have that
yes.
be known
That does,
as the best Christmas game.
yeah, which I mean, it does take place during it. Batman
Yeah.
Arkham Origins takes place during Christmas.
All right, this is nonsense. Stop.
Indigo
See-
Prophecy
no,
was
but-
also during the winter.
See what I mean? This is what I'm saying.
And Die
All the
Hard.
games that are actually good for Christmas, just coincidental. Oh, actually, yeah, Die Hard Trilogy is probably... Die Hard Trilogy might be the best Christmas video game in the sense Die Hard is a Christmas movie, quote unquote.
Yeah. That's awesome. So I can't wait to play Miles Morales and Die Hard this winter.
I mean, I would be interested in your opinions on that.
I might play one of those. But I guess then to move this forward, I guess since neither of you is really into this concept, there's not any plans you have. Like I have plans to play Silent Hill 2 in October for the vibe. I guess
No, not
neither
really.
of you have shit like that. Yeah.
I mean, I
Damn.
have the vague idea I might play something spooky in October. That's
Better
the
than
extent of my plans.
For me, Alan Wake 2 came out in September that year, and I was like, oh, this is going to be my horror game for October. And then I beat it in August of this year. So that didn't really go very well for me. But
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean, I feel
Last
Last of
similar.
Us I played in the fall, and also Until Dawn I played around then too. So I don't think I think I played The Quarry in summer. But like when it comes to
Oh, yeah.
games that like I try to keep longer games for me personally, just with the way that my schedule works out. Like a lot of people I know have birthdays in the fall and the winter months. So
Mm.
those are the times I'm usually out talking to people, doing stuff, and like the rest of the year I'm like
Right.
shut in by myself. So the longer games I tend to spread out for the rest of the year, and then like shorter games are in the winter because I don't have as much time. But like games that I try, like I'm getting to the point where one of the games that I have left is like Skyrim, and Skyrim's one that I want to like 100%. So I'm like, it's
Oh,
it's getting to
boy.
that point where like that's coming up on my backlog to get back to, and I'm like, oh, I don't have time for this right now. Like this is another part of the year, but I really do want to get to it. So it's like, do I risk forgetting certain things, getting through that game when I don't have enough time for it, or like just shelve it
Mhm.
until I have time, even though that's not the season that I wanted to play it in.
Right.
I feel like that's one of the reasons I prefer shorter games anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I think for the most part, the only things that I like, San Andreas was one that I kind of wanted to play during the summer, just because like that it does
Mhm.
scream summer to me. That and Yoshi's Island, I would say, are like my two games that remind me of summer, only
Oh,
because
yeah.
like those were the games that I played after school at the time. Very different parts of my life, but like, those were just like you
Yeah.
drive around and just do whatever and just, well, the AC is on at like midnight, just playing those games.
I was just gonna say, if there's probably a game that reminds me of a season, randomly Pokemon XD reminds me of Christmas and winter because my mom got it for me as a Christmas present after I really want it, and she
Hell
worked
yeah.
as a Salvation Army Santa to help get the money for it. So that's a memory I really remember and cherish.
Again, it is weird to be talking about Christmas so much in a September episode, but I have something that relates to that as well. One of my fondest memories like that is getting Rayman 2 on Christmas. And I have played Rayman 2 plenty of times, but really when I think of the game, one of the first mental images of of the game for me is actually visiting the graveyard after Christmas, as we did as the family, as a tradition, and just wanting to play Rayman 2 while looking at the gravestones. So that is my winter game experience.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I remember my mom got me Minish Cap for like Valentine's Day one year, which that was
What
a
the hell?
thing when I was growing up. We used to get each other gifts for Valentine's Day, my family.
All right.
Interesting.
Well, another reason to give people gifts. But every time I look at that cover, I remember like going to the store and everything was like red for Valentine's, and I remember just seeing like this
Mhm.
green little box and being like, I want that game. Please buy it for me. That was one of the ones that I was like, oh, maybe the Zelda mobile games aren't sucky as I had previously
Yeah,
thought.
yeah.
So that was the one that
Yeah.
started all that for me.
I mean, Minish Cap, it's a good one. I still need to
Yeah.
play it myself, though. Honestly, Matt, I think one thing is that like there was a question of like games you associate with summer, and I think one reason too with me is some of the games that you think of summery. It makes sense when you say it, but I wouldn't think of them as like a summer game per se. Like the motor racing one you talked about, I wouldn't have thought about that as a summer game, even though like it is,
Hmm.
yeah, but it's not something I would have thought of like that.
I mean, you don't go jet ski racing in the winter, mostly. I don't know.
Maybe
I
not
mean, you
you.
could if you go on holiday.
It would be cool.
Or if you went to a different hemisphere where the seasons are different.
Yeah.
True. I had a strong plan this year. One of my summer games that I had on my to-do list was playing Wakeboarding Unleashed, which has been recommended to me plenty of times. And again, that's like an aquatic extreme sports kind of game, very much summerly to me. Didn't get to that one yet, and I'm actually currently debating if I should wait for the next summer with that. I don't know if I want to play this in another season. I don't know. I just take this way. I know not everybody does the shit. Kind of thought the turnaround would be a bit bigger. I wouldn't be that lonely.
Yeah.
I think I don't tend to do it on purpose. I think for me it's more like I have like yearly goals of like these are like
Mhm.
this year I was like get through my console backlog. So like now it's September and I'm sweating because I have so many games left on my Switch backlog that I'm like, "Oh, I may not get to that this year, but whatever I get done, I get done." But
Yeah.
I tend to have like more yearly goals, and it's like trying to figure out where they fit in the year is less of a focus than just getting them done. Um, but
Mm.
yeah, I do sometimes play a game and then in a different season and then just go, "Damn, I wish I could have like played this during that season just to be a little bit more immersed in the vibes of the game."
There we go. Thank fuck.
The vibe.
There it is. You gotta feed that spark. You gotta
Yeah.
follow it.
You gotta fan that fire.
Yeah.
My birthday is also at the beginning of January, so it's always very cold at that point. So like I can remember more games that I received for my birthday than I can games that I got for Christmas.
Hmm.
So like in my mind, winter games are more like birthday games than actual winter games.
Hmm.
Most of the time I'm like, oh, this is a game that I play around like my birthday time versus like fully winter or whatever, which just happens to be winter time. Um, but yeah, sometimes whenever I play a game and it's like the middle of, you know, May and it's set in Christmas, I'm like, this is weird. Like, I shouldn't, like, it's
Yeah.
almost like I'm not allowed to be playing this right now because it just doesn't fit.
But sometimes it can be nice and cooling in the heat.
Yeah. I also feel like that when I'm like binge watching a TV show and like you get to like those 2 episodes in the season that
Yeah.
like here's Christmas and then it just goes back to normal. And I'm like, what?
Is this allowed?
I was like, I can't get in the spirit right now. It's the middle of April.
Well, Matt, you asked us about plans. So we
Yeah.
got to hear your plans. And I mean, you
Uh,
know, Labor Day is on September 1st. And Oktoberfest is on September 20th. You got some holidays.
Fucking Jesus Christ. I haven't researched Oktoberfest or Labor Day games. I'm sorry to say. But like seasonal games is rarely about the holidays for me. It's more about like
The
s-
vibe.
uh, the vibe, the season of the year, that sort of shit. Yeah. And I have, again, like I said, I planned Silent Hill 2 for October.
Right.
Wakeboarding Unleashed might still become my last summer game as the season ends this year. Who knows? And for winter, I I have a million more snowmobile racing games that I got for that. That's for sure. That's gonna happen again. I think. So that's my current plans.
Maybe this will help me solve Skyrim because Skyrim, the thing about Skyrim is that the map is so large that there's like certain cities that are completely in ice and they're very
Yeah.
wintry, and then other places that are just like there's running water and it's springtime always or whatever.
Oh,
So
just do one
maybe,
city per season?
yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's demented, but in a way I
That would
like.
be amazing. That's demented, but in the way I like. That's awesome. Well said.
I haven't played Skyrim for like 14 years after all.
I never finished that shit.
I never started it.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
it's definitely a monumental task to 100% it.
Yeah, that is madness.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Is that
I
even
100% Cyber Sleuth. I don't think I'd 100% Skyrim.
Yeah.
possible in one playthrough? Aren't you locking yourself out of certain things by doing others? I'm pretty sure.
No, there's a certain quest that if you start that quest, that's where the main thing happens, and then like you start the rest of, so like you can do all the side quests without having to interrupt that.
Okay.
Also, honestly, with how Skyrim is, I suspect that there's probably some way to glitch the fuck out and get into stuff that you knocked yourself out of anyway.
Yeah. Considering how I climbed a
I
mountain with my
guess.
horse.
Yeah. I think climbing the mountain with your horse is the shooting of the hooker for Skyrim, you know?
What the fuck does that even mean?
It's true. It's
It
true
makes
though.
sense to me. There we go. Leah gets it. Thank you.
Like Skyrim is only known for how glitchy it is, but nobody ever talks about the actual story or the actual game. It's just like this game is buggy as fuck. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's just
Wait, is that glitch then?
their games.
I'm glad we came to that conclusion. Okay. I guess that is it for the seasonal discussion. We're gonna leave this behind just like we are gonna leave summer behind very soon. Praise the Lord for that shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, trust me, I can't wait. It's hot as fuck.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Moving on to our last section of this episode, we're gonna play a little round of Guess the Game, where the aim of the game is to guess the game. I'll present to you completion notes. You will have to guess what game relates to that. The earlier you guess the game, the more points you get. The current scores are for Leon, for all of us, 5 points.
It's 5
four-way tie. Yeah.
If Matt really stumps us, he could keep the tie.
But one of you has the chance to move ahead of the rest now. So, both of you have beaten this game. I will present to you the first completion note. This is a main completion by Graham Tams, a very active user. 5 hours and 21 minutes. I quote, ran fast through the game, many fights are skippable.
Faster the game, many fights are skippable.
This is
We
just
both
every game I
completed it.
You both completed it.
5.5 hours, and fast through the game. Many fights are skippable. Let me think.
Adventures of Link.
You're knocking that one in?
Yeah.
Many fights are skippable. What's something where many fights are skippable? Where you would phrase it like that.
Yeah. I know both of you love games with fights. That's your favorite kind of game.
I haven't played a fighting game in a while. I gotta look at
Well, I was gonna make a guess, but we've already done that. I don't think you'd pick a game that we've already done.
Who knows? It's not Super Mario Kart again.
You're not skipping a lot of fights in Super
Yeah.
Mario Kart. That's true. Let's see, 5 hours, 25 minutes. I'm really thinking about this one, apparently.
You
Just give me
better.
one moment. and faster the game, many fights are skippable. Honestly, even though it's what one we've already done, it's still my first thought. I'm gonna say Super Metroid again.
Okay, so both of you are on the Nintendo train, and both of you are wrong. Neither of those
Damn.
guesses is correct.
Oh yeah.
So, the next note, a main plus completion, comes from user Michael7291. I wonder what year
Alright,
that person was born in. Played through the game in 6 hours, 48 minutes. I quote, 107 of 200 holo cubes found. Where have you gathered holo cubes?
I know Leah did complete Holocure, so it's sure
Oh.
not that.
Wait, Nintendo.
Wait, Nintendo!
What the hell was that? I love the visceral confusion on Leah's face.
Holocubes. There's 200 of them.
Apparently,
Alright.
allegedly.
Oh, I feel like I actually know this, but I can't fucking remember the name.
That's perfect. I love that.
You
Suffer
love to
from
see
your
it.
missing knowledge.
That's great for guessing the game.
It's perfect, really. Holocubes.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is Star Wars.
Holocubes. Fuck, what could be called a holocube? I keep thinking fucking Holocure, but there's no way that Leah beat freaking Holocure, so I know that's not what it actually is. They also could be calling it the wrong name. It's like a Holocube, but it's not called a Holocube.
Who knows?
Holocube.
I didn't fact check these.
I'm shocked. Truly, I am appalled. Holocube. I feel like I know this.
Can't be that many games with holo cubes.
You'd be shocked.
Yeah.
How many holo cubes are there in games?
At least 200, apparently.
Yeah, okay.
Another thing is, it's got to be like a modest-sized game because you got like 5 hours 21, 6 hours 49.
Yeah.
So it's not like
Well, he sped
It's not
through
like-
that one, so.
he did, but like it's not like
Mm.
Fire Emblem or something.
I don't think Fire Emblem has holo cubes, does it?
Look, man, you never know.
Many fights are skippable, and it has.
I'm gonna say
That's good.
Klonoa 1.
Is there Klonoa 2?
Yes, Klonoa 2
Yeah.
is very good, actually. If you ever get a chance to play it, I highly recommend it. It's really fucking good. Yeah, in
Okay.
Klonoa 1, it's Klonoa Door to Phantom Opera. Like, technically, there's also
Yeah,
a
that-
remake. With, like, a
Oh my
totally
god,
different
what?
That I'm familiar with, yeah. I mean, obviously.
I don't know. I'll say Force Unleashed.
Well, that's a good one.
It's not Nintendo.
That's a good one. I have beaten it. Well, you didn't say it was
Yeah,
Nintendo, did you?
I never said it was Nintendo.
He just joked that both our first guesses were Nintendo.
Yeah, you both were Nintendo brains. That's what I was saying.
Oh.
Okay, so we got
Well.
Star Wars The Force Unleashed and Klonoa 1.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm happy to announce that Leah has guessed correctly. It is indeed Star Wars The Force Unleashed.
That was a
Hell
good
yeah.
one.
That's literally. I was like, Holocubes is only in Force Unleashed.
Klonoa has things that aren't called holocubes, but they look like a holographic cube, and you like collect
Yeah,
them.
it does.
So I was thinking maybe they just called them a holocube because they don't know like the official name, which
Man,
wouldn't be surprising.
even with Force Unleashed, I feel like the people are calling these all sorts of things. Oh, I haven't played the game. Maybe there truly are different things, but I've seen holocubes, holocrons,
It's gonna be
holotrons.
Holocron is the
Holocron,
correct name.
Also, holocube isn't even real. Okay,
Yeah, holocube
That's
is not
awesome.
real. They're called holocrons.
I was hoping it was bullshit.
And Graham is correct. You can run fast through that game.
Yeah.
I truly hated playing that one, but I did run fast through it myself.
I want to
so-
play that one.
I played the PlayStation 2 version. It wasn't like the best game ever or anything, but it was like reasonably fun, is how I'd put it. Very mindless.
Yeah.
The story was kind of neat.
I was debating on whether or not I
Yeah.
should give you the platforms of the completion notes because they were all over the place. Wii, PS3, Mac, like all sorts of shit.
That would be really funny. Like, what the fuck is on a Mac?
Yeah. So that leaves Leah with 7 points, the remaining group all with 5 points each. New reigning
Yeah.
champion for now.
And there's not a lot of room. There's not many chances left in the year to catch up.
Yeah, whenever that will be the momentous day.
Yeah.
Oh well.
You know, is that actually a Papa Roach shirt, Matt?
Yes, I am wearing official Pepper Roach merch. Thank you very much for mentioning it.
Fist bump.
Hey.
I did listen to Papa Roach many times
Yeah.
during my life.
Well, with that, with a recommendation to go listen to your nearest Pepper Roach album, dear listener, we will be signing off with another episode in the can. Feel free to leave your comments on any games that we have mentioned or on seasonal gaming if you have any in whatever comment section you see fit, or on the forums in Discord. We are around. We are easy to find over there. And we thank you again for listening to us. See ya around. Keep playing.
Farewell from the How Long Until Summer Ends podcast.
Goodbye.
Bye.